Many years ago, I was working on one of my stories where I was trying to put into word pictures what it was like for a Christian who was orphan-minded to learn that he is a beloved child of God. And as I was working on that, suddenly there was a picture in my mind of what was going on right then. Just a picture. My imagination, God's help, I don't know. But what I saw was this rustic old stage. So picture it, you're looking, and all that's in the scene is the center of that stage. And on that stage, the spotlight was shining on a little boy. On one side, he was holding a teddy bear. On the other side, his hand was lifted up out of the circle of the spotlight. And I knew he was holding the hand of someone much bigger than him. And I did feel that God gave me that picture to see where I was and that he was leading me from there. Well, this morning, God took me back onto that stage and he adjusted the spotlight. And I want to tell you how he did that. I'm in Matthew 16, and the signpost, if you picture a signpost here on my path, the signpost says, Jesus said to his disciples, if anyone would come after me, he must deny himself, take up his cross, and follow me. I've already processed what it means that if someone does this, if anyone does this, so it's open to anyone, but anyone who does this has to do it the same way. And then when Jesus says, would come after me, his focus is on people who want to come after him. And what he's saying is, if anyone listening to him felt in their hearts that when they hear him speak, they feel this drawing, that they want to come after him. They want him to be the shepherd who leads them. Then Jesus gives 3 things that every one of those people will have to do. And the one I came to today is the first one, that we must deny ourselves. I looked up the definition of the words, and what it means is, if you think of the positive side of this, it is to acknowledge someone. The negative is to not acknowledge someone. So you're in a setting and someone's going to be acknowledged. But which one? When we look at this, we can't think of it like we are the only ones in the picture, that we are the ones on center stage, and it's all about whether we deny ourselves. It's more than that. This is about you and Jesus. And the question is, when the spotlight comes to center stage, do you want it to be on you or on him? So when Jesus said, if you want to come after me, so that's him with you following, then you have to deny yourself the spotlight. Yeah, you're on the stage, but you're not in the spotlight. You're denying yourself the attention that belongs to Christ. You don't want everyone to be, in a sense, infatuated with you. You want everyone who sees you to be drawn to look to Christ. So this is liberating to consider that when you include Jesus and yourself in this, and you see both of yourselves, and that's where I came to this scene of the stage and how it changed. And what changed was the spotlight enlarged so that it was on both of us. But then it was like it panned from me to Jesus. I know that there's part of this that is a maturity issue. In other words, when we are young, we can't help it that we think only of ourselves. I've just seen a newborn infant in the last couple of weeks. That little one cannot even imagine that they're being self-centered. They just are. They can't help it. They can't do anything for themselves. It's all about them. But as they grow up, in childhood, they begin to learn to think of others. As an adult, they learn to work well with others. As a parent, they learn to take care of others. And as an elder, they learn to take care of a whole community of people. Because we're constantly learning to think of others than ourselves. Jesus is saying that anyone who has in their hearts the desire to come after him, you know, like you're the sheep and he's the shepherd, you have to get out of the spotlight. You want the attention on him. When you're telling people about Jesus, you don't want them getting stuck on how well you are doing. You want them to see him. I'm going to leave it at that because this is huge for me, very personal, and it is making me be very self-examining, because even right now that I'm making this video and I'm in a sense in the spotlight, I want this to be about Jesus. We will never get away from the reality that we're in the scene with Jesus. Denying ourselves never means shutting up, having nothing to do with anyone, hiding so that people see Christ. No, it's denying ourselves the right to be the center of attention because we want the attention on us. So, when you think of somebody who did this the most, think of the Apostle Paul, who said, I have been crucified with Christ, and I no longer live, but it's Christ living in me. But then he says, the life I live in the body, in the flesh, I live by faith in the Son of God, who loved me and gave himself for me. And guess what happens whenever people see Paul on the stage? It's like, oh, look at Jesus. What did you say? Oh, look at Jesus. What, Paul, you said, oh, look at Jesus. I hope that helps somebody out there, because it's doing wonders for me to realize that in denying myself, I'm simply saying in every situation, it's not about me. And no matter what I face, no matter how much grief, difficulty, trouble, I want to tell you about what Jesus did to help me with that, because I want you to know him. And that's where I will leave this. The spotlight changes from us to Jesus. And what I hope you will do today is look around you at how other believers, maybe Christian podcasts or videos or songs, sermons, keep pointing you to Jesus. And then think, how would God position you on the stage of the kingdom so that people, in looking at you, find themselves looking at the glorious Christ?